Okay. Peace, family. Good evening. Hope y'all are doing well tonight. I'm your host, Canary G, in the place to be. What? It's like, let me stop playing. Y'all know I'm not about to freestyle up here and embarrass myself. Welcome to the Tahiti Show. I'm your host, Canary G. And it's on and popping tonight. We got a topic. I got something to talk about. So we're going to jump right in. Tonight's topic is signs he's not into you. So this is an episode dedicated to the ladies. Ladies, we're going to talk about what these men are out here doing. And we're going to help you to determine if it's someone that you need to give your time to or someone that you should not give your time to. And for the fellas, I just want to put out this little disclaimer. This is not an episode intended to bash the fellas. We know it's a lot of good men out there. And we applaud you. You know, here at the Tahiti Show, we are down for y'all. So this is not an episode to discredit, discard, or to bash you. I just want to tell my ladies what to look out for because some of y'all ain't doing right. And so we need to know what we're up against when we're out here in these streets trying to get our love game popping. Okay? And another disclaimer I want to throw out. My allergies acting up real bad, so I might clear my throat a couple times. So just bear with me as we get through this episode. All right, ladies. So one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this particular topic, the signs that he's not into you, is because you think once you reach a certain age, once you're over 30 and you're dealing with men who are over 30 and over 40, you think you're going to not have to deal with these kinds of things, but it doesn't matter. Even if a man has been married, even if a man has been in a long-term relationship, has children, has daughters, he still can be out here acting a fool. And so these signs are applicable all across the lifespan. So just keep that in mind. So let's jump right into these talking points. So signs he's not into you. One is he talks about sex early in y'all's interaction. So it might be that you're just going on a first date. It might be that, maybe it's a second date or maybe it's even your first conversation or at any point really early in the relationship. If he don't even know your last name, he don't know your middle name, he don't know nothing about you, and he's already talking about sex, that lets you know that's all he wants. Now, if that's what you want, that's all good. Do you. But if you're looking for a relationship or if you're looking for a respectable situation where you can really connect with somebody, keep that in mind. And if he's only talking about sex very early on, just know that is all that he wants. And if that's not what you want, keep it moving. Next up is he doesn't make any time for you. So people out here busy. You got your main job. You might be out here with a side hustle. You might be in school. He might have kids. There might be all kinds of things going on that take up your time. And so because of that, it's very difficult to sometimes coordinate. But everybody's got enough time to send a text. Everybody's got enough time to say hello on one of the social media platforms, to give you a call, whatever the case. Everybody's got a minute in their day to stop and say hello. Now, if he's going through something a little crazy, he might get a little sidetracked, and hopefully you'll find that out after a while. But if it's been a month, 2 months, 3 months, or whatever, and you haven't heard from him, matter of fact, I wouldn't even say wait that long. If it's like a week or 2 weeks and 2-3 weeks and you haven't heard from him and he hasn't made any effort to make time for you, girl, don't even sit around waiting. Just keep it moving. He don't have time for you. He not that into you. Let it go. All right. That goes to the next point. If he doesn't ask you any questions about you, that's a clear indication that he's really not that interested. He's either one, a narcissist, or he's two, only interested in fucking. Especially if he doesn't ask you questions, but then he'll ask you questions about something sexual. So that goes back to the first point where, he's only talking about sex. And so a man who wants to build something with you, or a man who's looking to build in general with a woman, and he's on the prowl, he's searching just like you are, he's going to ask you questions. He's going to want to know things about you. He's going to want to know what you're into, how you think, what's going on under the hood. That's a man. A man is going to inspect because they don't want no dummy on their side. It don't matter how cute you are. You could be a number 10 with the figure 8, all of that. Popping, ass popping, long eyelashes, natural hair flowing. It doesn't matter. If there's no substance to you, he's not going to be interested. And the only way he can determine if you have substance is if he's looking under the hood and he's asking you questions. So if he's not asking you questions, girl, he not into you. Let it go. And a lot of times the people who notice that are the females who have substance to provide. So, just keep that in mind too. If he's not asking you any questions or he's only asking you questions about sex, not into you. So let's look at the next point. He doesn't take you on dates. Now, this I've had some personal experience with that be having me in my feelings a little bit. So here in the DC area, it seems like a lot of the native males, 25 to 45, are all about this let's just hang out thing. The whole Netflix and chill and Hulu and chill or whatever, they don't want to go on a real date. I don't understand it. This is some new shit. Like, I just got out of a relationship maybe about just a little under a year ago. And so, now I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go out and have some fun. I want some male attention. I want to hug. I want to, love up on somebody and have that connection with some masculine energy. And it's like, these dudes out here are hella feminine. I don't get it. But anyway, and they have a real issue with taking women out on dates. I wonder are any of the listeners out there having that type of experience where you're located? Like, are there other cities where people are doing this, or is this just the new trend in dating? And it's not even age related, because when I was younger, I really didn't have any problems with that, but I also wasn't in the DMV area. Now, since I've been in the DMV area, and I've been single at different periods in my adulthood, I've been coming across that a little more often. And so, and it's always with someone who's native to the area, who's born and raised here. So I wonder if it's like a DMV thing or not. But basically, they don't want to take you out on a real date. Now, let's talk about what a date looks like. So a date is, maybe y'all meet somewhere, especially if, it's real early and you don't know each other yet. So you meet somewhere, you have some food. It ain't even got to be expensive. You meet somewhere nice, you have a little sit down, you have some food, you talk, you get to know each other. And maybe or maybe not, you have another activity if it's really flowing well. So, and this is at minimum a first date. So if he's not willing to do that, if he's not willing to make time and spend time with you in a setting where he can talk to you, where he can, like I said before, check under the hood. He can ask you questions and get to know who you are and reveal some things about himself as well. He's not into you, because no man is going to spend too much time waiting to take you on a date. All of this Hulu and chill, Netflix and chill or whatever, or just hanging out to determine if you're someone I want to date, fuck that. No, he's not into you. Keep it moving. If a man comes around you talking about he wants to hang out so he can see if he's interested in dating you, it's bullshit. Trust me. And I say that because how do you determine if a person is somebody you want to date if you don't go on a damn date with them? What kind of sense does that make? So just keep in mind, if he's not interested in taking you out on a date, if he hits you with that, I just want to hang out before I know I want to date you. If he hits you with that, ladies, keep it moving. You don't even need no other sign. That sign is enough, because he's just going to waste your damn time. Don't do it. So, yeah. Obviously, I have a little feelings about that. The next point is, he openly talks about other women. So if you're lusting after this man and he's over here talking about how some other woman is attractive, how he's dating other women, how, he has plans with another woman, or this, that, and the third, chances are he's not into you. Now, there's a caveat with this. And I say that because just like you're a single woman out here trying to find love, you may not be just dating one person. You may not just be spending time with one man. You might be evaluating this man while you're over here evaluating that man. You may not be having sex with them. And in fact, I would advise against having sex with multiple people because of many reasons. But that's a whole nother episode. But he may be doing the same thing. He may have come across you, invited you out, and said, let's get to know each other. But in the meantime, there was the woman before you, and there may be other women who come, around the same time or a little bit after you. And that's okay. It's okay if a man is taking time to get to know what he wants from, what he's looking for in a relationship. And he comes across these different women. He's trying to decide which one he wants. That's perfectly normal. So, but there's a difference in how that information is delivered to you. So if a man is just like, I'm single and I'm just trying to, I'm looking for this type of relationship or whatever, he spends some time with you and, he's letting you know in such a way that he's out here getting to know different women, there's nothing to be offended about that. It's perfectly normal, in fact, and you should be doing the same thing. However, if it's been several weeks, 3 months, 6 months, and he's still talking about he's fucking some other women, he's doing whatever with some other women, chances are you're just one in the harem. You're not someone he actually sees a future with. So keep that in mind with all of these points. These points are specific to anyone who's looking for a relationship, who's looking to find the one, who's looking to find someone they can marry, etc. So if that's what you're looking for and you come across this man who's out here with a number of different women fucking around and it's been God knows how much time and he's not really like trying to make you the one or whatever, chances are he's not into you. Another sign. Now, this is a sign that may be a little unusual or not as obvious. So, in a way. So, another sign that he's not into you is if he ghosts. So, there's two types of ghosting. One type is that he disappears and he's gone for a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks. And let's just more emphasize the weeks because days, depending on the nature of your relationship or the stage that your relationship is in, that might be okay. But if he disappears for weeks on end and then he just pops up one day like, hey, what's up? Let's kick it, blah, blah, blah. Something ain't right about that. That's real questionable and you need to have your eyes wide open with that dude. Okay? So if he goes and he disappears for weeks on end and you don't hear nothing from him at all, chances are there's somebody else in the picture that he's really feeling and you're kind of like on the side or in his pocket. So keep that in mind. He may not be into you. Now, you might be okay with that because you got your own little situations going on over here, but no real substantial relationship can survive being detached for so long on a regular basis. So that's one type of ghosting. The other type of ghosting is the real obvious one where you think everything's cool, y'all connecting, y'all talking, having fun, blah, blah, blah. Maybe y'all had sex, maybe you didn't, and then you never hear from him again all of a sudden, and you thought everything was cool, and he just disappears. That's a pretty clear indication that he's just not that into you. It's okay, girl. You made the mistake. Maybe you saw the signs before, but you didn't you didn't really take full advantage of your intuition. And so, he got you. It can happen. If he ghosts, lick your wounds, but let it go. Move on. Consider yourself lucky. Consider yourself that you've dodged that bullet. All right? Another sign that he may not be into you is he's passive aggressive. So this was a situation that I experienced kind of recently. So there was a dude who I had known in the past who kind of came back into the picture, and um, basically he created a whole scenario that would make me kind of leave him alone because he was too afraid to really acknowledge how he was really feeling. And so he wanted me to kind of take the lead and do all the work, and all he had to do was sit back and kick his feet up. And I wasn't going to do that. I'm following his lead. And so whatever he was saying he wanted, I was right there, you know? And so instead of him just saying, listen, all I really want to do is fuck. I'm not really that interested in you. And I don't know if there's a really good way to say that, but I'm sure there are ways that, a dude can make it clear without being passive aggressive. But, I don't know because I'm not looking for that. I'm not into that. But the point is, he created this whole scenario that would make me leave him alone, like drop him instead of him deciding, you know what, I'm just going to walk away from this because I'm really not getting what I want. Like, I was not just giving him the draws because that's not what I want. And I made that clear to him. But instead of him just saying, you know what, this not really going to work for me because this is what I want, this is what you want, and they're not aligned, he created this whole scenario that would make me pissed off so that I would then end our connection. That is some lame, simping, weak, passive aggressive, bitch made bullshit. And that's exactly how he behaved by doing that. And so I peeped it early on, but I just wanted to see how things would play out. And sure enough, that's what he did. Created a passive aggressive situation. So if a man is not willing to just be straight up with you, not only is he not into you, he's kind of weak and lame. And do you even want to be with somebody who's weak and whack and lame and corny? No. You want a grown-ass man who can walk in the door and handle his business. And if he can't handle his business, bye-bye. So keep that in mind. Another sign he's not into you that may be a little more subtle is that he doesn't show you affection. It's very normal that in a relationship, you'll want to touch each other. You'll want to have these nonverbal cues that involve being close. And if a man is unwilling to do that, something's wrong there. He's not physically attracted to you, or maybe he has some other issues going on. So you want to keep that in mind. If he's not willing to show you affection, that's weird. And that's a pretty good indicator that he may not be into you. He may not be into women. Or it could be any number of things. He might have all types of other issues. But so this is one of the more subtle signs. So if he's showing multiple of the signs, including this one, then you know. But if he doesn't show affection, but everything else is matching up, maybe that's something you can ask a question. Ask him or let him know that you like this and you would like to touch him more, or him touch you, or whatever. And if he's unresponsive to that, or he's unwilling to, reach out and embrace you, chances are there's something wrong and he's probably not into you. So keep that in mind. Sometimes it takes a little bit of communication to come to the conclusion and to know exactly what you're dealing with. But it's just really unusual that in the beginning stages of a connection or a relationship that there's no affection. And this can even apply to people who are not affectionate, because there are people out there who don't like to be close, who don't like to touch. But it's just when you're in that early stage where it's all hot and heavy and fiery and it's all this chemistry popping all over the place, and if there's no affection, something's wrong, and that's going to eventually corrode the relationship. So keep that in mind. Pay attention to the other signs, and as a resort, and not a last resort, but at some point, definitely make it clear in a calm and nurturing and feminine way that you want some affection, and see how he responds to that. If he's not responsive or he's resistant in some way, charge him to the game. And then the last point that he may not be into you is he's unwilling to resolve conflict. So at any point in time, a conflict can arise for a number of reasons. But Mainly, you are two very different people coming from very different backgrounds with very different ideas and beliefs and needs and all these things. And so when two people come together, it's inevitable that at some point there's going to be a miscommunication, there's going to be a misunderstanding. And if he's unwilling to resolve the conflict with you, if you bring it to him, he knows there's a conflict, he knows what's going on, he knows there's something wrong, he knows he's a part of it, and he has no kind of say in it. He doesn't do anything to try to resolve it. He doesn't do anything to try to make you feel to try to make you feel at ease, and he just doesn't even communicate anything about it. He's not willing to listen to you about it. That's an indication he's not into you, because no man in his right mind who really is feeling some type of connection with or affection towards their woman is going to let the woman walk around fuming, knowing that there's a problem and knowing that he holds the key to helping to resolve that problem. Even a man who has communication issues, issues with conflict, all those kinds of things, even if he has some of those psychoses or whatever, he's going to still want to do something to try to resolve that issue. If he's doing nothing, if he's avoiding the conflict, if he's avoiding the conversation, chances are, again, bitch made, number one, and then number two, likely not that into you. So, ladies, this is my list based on my experiences. If you have any suggestions that I may have missed, or if you have any other blatant or less obvious signs that a man is not into you, leave them down in the comments. Also, fellas, I would love to hear your opinion on what we discussed. If you have any objections to anything that was said, I would love to hear what you have to say too. All right, folks. Well, that's been tonight's episode. I got to get up out of here. But again, thank you for joining me on The Tahiti Show. Again, I'm your host. You can follow us on social media at The Tahiti Show. You can hit us up online at thetahitishow.com. And of course, you can send us an email with questions, comments, or to be featured as a co-host on the show at thetahitishow@gmail.com. All right, family. It was great talking with y'all. Love to hear from y'all and look forward to seeing y'all next week. All right. Bye.